Let me begin by saying that we are here today to address something that has been brought to the forefront of global discussions. It's an issue of identity, sovereignty, and respect. Things that every nation, regardless of its size or influence, holds dear. Burkina Faso is not a part of the United States, simple, clear, and without any ambiguity. Yet sometimes it feels as if our voice, our choices, and our nation's path are overlooked in the larger conversations that shape the global landscape. We are often caught in a narrative where others attempt to define us, to place us within frameworks that do not belong to us. But today we stand to remind the world. Burkina Faso has its own identity, its own history, its own destiny. We are proud of our roots. Our history is rich, woven with struggles and triumphs from the time of our ancestors to the present day. We've fought colonialism, we've fought for independence, and we continue to fight for the preservation of our sovereignty. Burkina Faso does not need to be defined by anyone else's standards. Our path is ours to choose, and we are determined to walk it in our own way. To those who may still hold misconceptions or ideas about our nation, let us make this clear. We are not a territory to be molded or manipulated to fit external agendas. The United States is a powerful country, no doubt. It is a leader in many spheres, but that does not mean every nation on earth must adhere to its vision or follow its influence. Each nation has its own culture, its own political structure, and its own way of moving forward. Burkina Faso is not an extension of the United States, nor should it be. We respect the right of any nation to chart its own course, and we ask for the same respect in return. We ask that the world recognize our independence, our values, and our right to exist as a nation free from foreign pressure or interference. At the end of the day, we want the world to understand that we do not seek conflict, nor do we want to be forgotten or overlooked. But we do want to be recognized for who we are. We want to be heard for the contributions we make, the lessons we teach, and the future we are building for ourselves. We call for respect, not domination. We call for partnership, not paternalism. We call for equality, not inequality. So once again, let it be said, Burkina Faso is not a part of the United States, and we do not need to be. Let us be. Let us thrive in our own way with dignity and pride. Burkina Faso, located in the heart of West Africa, is a country that has been shaped by centuries of history, struggle, and resilience. Our identity is not something that can be easily defined by others, nor will we allow it to be distorted or compromised by external forces. From the time of our ancestors to the modern day, our people have fought to preserve our way of life, our culture, and our values. We are proud of who we are, and we will not let any nation or power attempt to redefine us or impose its will upon us. Our identity is rooted in the very soil of Burkina Faso. It is evident in the traditions passed down through generations, in the languages we speak, in the art and music that flow through our communities, and in the way we live together as a people. Our culture is diverse, vibrant, and reflective of the various ethnic groups that make up our society. From the Mossi, who are the largest ethnic group, to the Guermanche, Bobo, and many others, we have woven a rich tapestry of heritage that transcends borders. Each ethnic group contributes its own unique perspective, and it is through this diversity that we have forged a strong sense of national unity. Our history tells a story of resistance, of fighting for freedom and self-determination. Burkina Faso, once known as Upper Volta, was colonized by France in the late 19th century. Like many African nations, we endured the exploitation and subjugation of colonial rule. However, when the time came, we fought back, and in 1960 we gained our independence. That victory marked a turning point in our history and laid the foundation for the proud nation we are today. Burkina Faso's sovereignty has been hard-won and fiercely guarded. Our people have never been afraid to stand up for their rights, and we have a long tradition of political activism and social engagement. From the revolutionary period led by Thomas Sankara in the 1960s to the ongoing struggles for democracy, justice, and equality, we have always sought to define our own future. We are not a people who are content to live under the shadow of foreign powers or accept foreign domination. Sovereignty for us is more than just a political concept. It is the foundation of our existence as a free people. Our sovereignty gives us the right to determine our own destiny, to chart our own course, and to make decisions that are in the best interest of our nation. This is something that no foreign nation or power can take away from us. We will not allow our sovereignty to be eroded by outside influence or interference. We understand the complexities of the global world we live in. In an interconnected world, nations must engage with one another, collaborate, and work towards common goals. However, this does not mean that we are willing to surrender our autonomy or become subservient to the interests of others. Burkina Faso is a proud, independent nation, and we will not allow any other country to dictate the course of our development. There are those who may view our stance as isolationist or confrontational, but this is far from the truth. We are not seeking to shut ourselves off from the world. Rather, we seek to engage on our own terms, with mutual respect and understanding. We welcome partnerships based on equality and shared goals, but we will not tolerate any attempts to undermine our sovereignty or impose foreign values that do not align with our own. The world must understand that sovereignty is a fundamental right for all nations, regardless of their size or power. Burkina Faso may not be a global superpower, but we are a nation with a rich history and a strong sense of self. Our sovereignty is non-negotiable, and we will continue to defend it at all costs. The future of Burkina Faso is ours to shape, and no external force will take that right away from us. We are proud of who we are, and we will continue to stand firm in our commitment to protecting our sovereignty and our identity. Burkina Faso's independence is a hard-earned and cherished achievement that remains at the core of our national identity. It is a defining moment in our history that continues to shape our aspirations and the way we relate to the world around us. The struggle for independence was not just a political struggle, but a fight for freedom, dignity, and the right to determine our own path. When Burkina Faso gained its independence from French colonial rule in 1960, it marked the end of a long period of exploitation and oppression. However, the true significance of our independence is not confined to that moment alone. It is something that we as a nation continue to protect and uphold every single day. For us, independence is not merely a historical event. It is a living, breathing reality. It is the foundation upon which we build our present and our future. We have always understood that independence is not something that can be taken for granted. It requires constant vigilance, hard work, and the resolve to protect it from both internal and external threats. Independence is not simply a matter of political freedom. It encompasses the full range of our rights as a nation, from the freedom to make our own laws to the freedom to engage with the world on our own terms. Our political choices are ours to make, and they must reflect the will of the people. Whether we are electing leaders or shaping our policies, the decisions we make are determined by the values, needs, and desires of the Burkinabe people. No foreign power has the right to impose its will upon us or to interfere in our democratic processes. Our political system, with all its challenges and imperfections, is a direct reflection of our sovereignty and our commitment to creating a society that serves the needs of all our citizens. We have faced many obstacles over the years, from military coups to political instability, but we have always remained resolute in our commitment to self-governance. It is our right to choose our leaders and to shape the direction of our nation through peaceful and democratic means. Similarly, our social choices belong to us and are not to be dictated by outside forces. Our cultural traditions, our way of life, and the values we hold dear are a product of our history, and we will not allow foreign ideologies to overshadow or replace them. Burkina Faso is a country of immense cultural diversity, and we celebrate the different ethnic groups that make up our society. Our traditional customs, from our ceremonies to our forms of social organization, are deeply rooted in our culture. While we are open to learning from other nations, we will not accept the imposition of foreign social norms that contradict our own beliefs and practices. Our independence also means that we can make our own decisions when it comes to matters of development. The challenges we face as a nation, including poverty, education, healthcare, and infrastructure, require solutions that are tailored to our unique circumstances. We do not need foreign powers or international organizations to dictate how we should address these challenges. While we welcome cooperation and partnerships with other nations and institutions, the solutions we pursue must reflect our priorities and our values, not those imposed by others. We understand that external assistance can play a valuable role in our development, but it must be offered in a way that respects our sovereignty and our right to make decisions for ourselves. In the globalized world in which we live, it is tempting to think that the influence of powerful countries should automatically translate into control over smaller, less influential nations. Burkina Faso rejects this notion. We believe that all nations, regardless of their size or power, should be free to make their own choices without external interference. We are not beholden to the interests of other countries, nor should we be. Our voice matters, and our actions will continue to reflect the will of the people of Burkina Faso. Our commitment to protecting our independence is not a rejection of the world or its opportunities. It is simply a reminder that we, as a nation, must be the ones to define our path. We do not seek isolation, but we do demand respect for our right to make decisions based on our own experiences, values, and priorities. As we continue to face the challenges of the 21st century, we do so as a sovereign nation, proud of our past and determined to shape a future that is truly our own. The fight for independence may have been won decades ago, but the work of maintaining and protecting that independence is ongoing. Burkina Faso will never allow anyone to undermine the hard-won freedom and self-determination that we hold dear. We are a proud nation with a rich history, and we will continue to make our own political and social choices in accordance with our own beliefs, without the interference or influence of others. Burkina Faso stands as a proud and independent nation, deeply committed to the principle that every country, no matter its size or global influence, has the right to chart its own course. While we acknowledge the power and influence that countries like the United States hold on the global stage, we firmly assert that Burkina Faso is not, nor will it ever be, an extension of any foreign power. We are not an offshoot, a satellite, or a subordinate. Burkina Faso is a sovereign nation with its own path to follow, and we are determined to walk that path with pride and integrity. The very essence of our identity lies in our independence and the unique journey we have undertaken as a nation, from our colonial past to the moment we gained independence in 1960. Burkina Faso has struggled to define itself on its own terms. Our history is one of resistance against external forces. From the shackles of French colonialism to modern-day pressures from foreign powers seeking to impose their influence on our political, economic, and social system. It is essential that we remind the world that while we may interact with other nations, we do so as an equal partner, not as a dependency or a subject. Burkina Faso is not and has never been a part of the United States, nor is it a nation that seeks to model itself after any other. Each country has its own history, its own social structure, and its own set of values. The path that Burkina Faso takes must reflect our own experiences, our own priorities, and our own vision for the future. Our policies, our government systems, and our decisions are based on what is best for the Burkinabe people, not the interests or ideologies of a foreign power. While we recognize the United States as a powerful and influential nation, we do not believe that Burkina Faso should be a mere extension of its political, economic, or cultural influence. The world is diverse, and every nation has its own contributions to make. Burkina Faso's cultural, political, and economic identity must not be shaped by others, but by the will of our people and the realities of our own society. We have our own traditions, our own cultural values, and our own political institutions that have been built over decades of struggle and perseverance. These are what define us, and they are what will continue to guide us as we move forward. It is crucial that we reject the notion that smaller nations like ours should simply align with global superpowers or adopt their systems in order to achieve success. Burkina Faso is not a follower, nor will we ever allow ourselves to be defined by the policies or ideologies of another country. We recognize that the global landscape is interconnected, but this interconnectedness does not mean that we should lose our independence or sovereignty. Our interactions with other nations, whether for trade, diplomatic relations, or cultural exchange, must be grounded in mutual respect and equality. We will not allow ourselves to be manipulated or pressured into decisions that do not align with our national interests or the aspirations of our people. The world often expects nations, especially those in the global south, to conform to certain models of development or governance, largely shaped by Western powers. But Burkina Faso does not have to fit into someone else's mold to be successful. We are a country with immense potential, rich resources, and a young and dynamic population that is ready to take on the challenges of the 21st century. Our development must be guided by our own priorities, shaped by the unique circumstances of our nation, and pursued through our own efforts and strategies. We do not need to mimic other nations. We must carve out our own future, one that reflects our values and our vision. It is important to emphasize that rejecting foreign dominance does not equate to rejecting international cooperation. Burkina Faso values its relationships with the global community, and we are open to collaborations that respect our sovereignty and support our goals. But we will always insist that our decisions are ours to make, and that our development is driven by the needs and desires of the Burkinabe people, not by the demands or expectations of foreign powers. Our country's progress and development are built on the foundation of self-determination. It is this very spirit of independence that has allowed us to overcome numerous challenges over the years. We have weathered economic hardships, political instability, and security concerns, yet we have never lost sight of our goal: to build a nation that reflects our values and aspirations. Burkina Faso will continue to grow and evolve in a way that respects our sovereignty, our culture, and our dignity. As we continue to face new challenges in an ever-changing world, we will do so on our own terms. Burkina Faso is not an extension of the United States or any other foreign power. We are a nation with its own path, and we will continue to walk that path, determined and resolute as we build a brighter future for our people. The world may change, but the independence and sovereignty of Burkina Faso will remain unwavering. Burkina Faso's journey toward self-determination and progress has been one marked by resilience, courage, and an unwavering belief in our right to shape our own destiny. For many years, we endured the imposition of foreign powers, colonial domination, and outside interference that sought to control our resources, our people, and our future. But we have long since cast off those chains and embraced the right to make decisions that reflect our own needs, desires, and vision. Today, we are standing at the crossroads of our future, and we have every intention of charting a course that reflects our aspirations, free from the constraints of foreign influence or expectations. At the core of Burkina Faso's development is the fundamental principle that we have the right to determine our own future. This right is not a privilege granted by any external power, but a basic human right that flows from our sovereignty as a nation. No outside force, no matter how powerful, can dictate the path we should follow. Our decisions about politics, economics, culture, and society are ours to make, and it is through our own choices that we will shape the destiny of Burkina Faso. For too long, the fate of many African nations, including Burkina Faso, was dictated by foreign powers who imposed their own priorities and systems upon us. Colonialism stripped us of our resources, undermined our institutions, and fractured our communities. In the post-colonial era, we were often subjected to the whims of global powers and international organizations that sought to impose one-size-fits-all solutions based on foreign models of development that had little relevance to our own circumstances. These pressures were, and still are, an affront to our dignity and independence. But Burkina Faso, like many other nations in Africa, has always stood for the belief that we are capable of defining our own future. We do not need to conform to the expectations of others to be successful. Our success is not measured by how closely we align with the models of wealthier, more powerful nations. Instead, our success is defined by our ability to meet the needs of our people, protect our sovereignty, preserve our cultural identity, and build a future where every Burkinabe citizen can thrive. Our progress must reflect the realities of our own society, and it must be built on our own terms. We have already demonstrated through years of struggle and sacrifice that we are capable of making bold decisions that serve our interests. The independence we fought for in 1960 was just the beginning. Since then, we have faced numerous challenges, from political instability and economic hardship to security concerns and environmental challenges. Yet, through it all, we have remained committed to the ideals of self-determination and progress. We have worked tirelessly to build institutions that serve the people, to foster a sense of national unity, and to create a political system that reflects our values of democracy and justice. The process of self-determination is ongoing, and it requires constant vigilance, effort, and adaptation. The challenges we face are complex, but they are not insurmountable. We are a young nation, full of potential, and we possess the creativity, intelligence, and energy needed to overcome our obstacles and achieve greatness. Our people are at the heart of our progress. It is through the hard work, innovation, and determination of our citizens that we will continue to build a brighter future for our nation. Our economic progress, for instance, must be driven by our own resources and capabilities. While international trade and partnerships are important, we must prioritize self-sufficiency, sustainability, and local empowerment. We cannot rely solely on foreign aid or external markets to determine our future. We have fertile land, natural resources, and a growing labor force. Our focus must be on creating industries that are rooted in our reality, that create jobs, and that contribute to the long-term development of our country. It is through the development of our own industries, infrastructure, and technologies that we will create the conditions for sustainable growth and prosperity. Equally, we must prioritize education and innovation as pillars of our development. Education is the bedrock of progress, and we are committed to ensuring that every Burkinabe citizen has access to quality education. Our young people are the future of our nation, and it is essential that we equip them with the skills, knowledge, and resources needed to drive our country forward. We need to foster a culture of innovation that encourages entrepreneurship, creativity, and problem solving. As we continue to develop, we must look inward to create solutions that reflect our own needs and challenges rather than simply importing foreign ideas that may not be relevant to our context. Burkina Faso's progress is not about conforming to outside expectations, but about creating a future that works for us. Our development must be inclusive, sustainable, and reflective of the values that define our society. We do not need to adopt foreign systems or ideologies to be successful. Success for Burkina Faso means creating a society that is just, equitable, and prosperous for all its citizens. Our progress will come not from imitating others, but from embracing our own strengths, learning from our experiences, and building a future that reflects our collective will and aspirations. As we continue on this path of self-determination, we do so with confidence. Burkina Faso is a nation capable of great progress, and we will continue to rise to the challenges ahead. We do not need to look to others for our definition of success. Our future belongs to us, and we will continue to shape it on our own terms. The road ahead may not always be easy, but it is ours to walk, and we will walk it with pride, determination, and an unwavering belief in our right to determine our own future. Burkina Faso's journey as a sovereign nation has been shaped by a deep and enduring commitment to peace, stability, and progress. We have always sought to foster positive relationships with the global community, rooted in mutual respect and understanding. However, while we remain open to cooperation and collaboration with the world, it is essential that the world recognizes one fundamental principle. Burkina Faso demands respect for its sovereignty. its right to pursue its own path, and its right to be free from foreign interference. We are not seeking conflict, but we will not allow our nation to be treated as a subject of external influence or manipulation. Throughout our history, Burkina Faso has faced numerous challenges, both internal and external. These challenges have come in various forms: economic hardship, political instability, and security threats. However, through it all, we have remained resilient, determined to protect our sovereignty and our right to govern ourselves without external meddling. We have faced numerous attempts by foreign powers and international entities to impose their will upon us, often under the guise of offering aid, assistance, or guidance. While we welcome genuine support and collaboration, we have always stood firm in asserting our right to make decisions independently and on our own terms. Burkina Faso's demand for respect is not born out of hostility or a desire for isolation. Quite the contrary, we have always sought peaceful, respectful, and mutually beneficial relationships with other nations. We have engaged with the world, from regional organizations like the African Union to international bodies like the United Nations, always with the goal of strengthening our country, contributing to global peace, and addressing shared challenges. Our nation has always placed great value on diplomacy, dialogue, and cooperation, and we recognize the importance of working together on issues such as climate change, health, education, and security. However, despite our openness to cooperation, we are firmly opposed to any form of interference that undermines our autonomy or imposes external values, policies, or frameworks that do not reflect the realities of our society. Every nation, regardless of its size or global influence, has the right to determine its own future without outside coercion, without conjecture. Anyway, left, you're forced to call us on speakerphones or from our own to make. We will not tolerate efforts by foreign governments or organizations to manipulate or control our internal affairs. We are not seeking to become a pawn in someone else's game, nor do we wish to be used to further the interests of others at the expense of our own people. We understand that the global system is interconnected and that nations must cooperate and collaborate to address common challenges. In this globalized world, the interests of different countries are often intertwined, and Burkina Faso is not opposed to working with others to solve shared problems. In fact, we are committed to playing our part in addressing global issues, whether it is combating terrorism, improving healthcare, or promoting economic development. But such cooperation must be based on respect for our sovereignty and an acknowledgement of our right to make decisions that serve our own interests. Any partnership we engage in must be rooted in equality, mutual benefit, and the recognition that our country is in the best position to know what is best for our people. Respect for Burkina Faso's right to live in peace and pursue development is essential for our continued progress. We have faced a number of setbacks over the years, from political upheaval to the threat of terrorism, but we have always managed to persevere because we have remained committed to our independence and our sovereignty. Our people have shown incredible strength and resilience in the face of adversity, and it is our commitment to self-determination that has allowed us to keep moving forward. We do not want conflict with any nation, but we will never allow our nation's future to be decided by others. Our right to self-governance, to shape our own destiny, is non-negotiable. As we move forward, Burkina Faso calls on the international community to recognize our right to determine our own path and to respect our decisions. We do not seek to isolate ourselves from the world, but we do demand to be treated with the same dignity and respect afforded to any other nation. We want to be recognized as a sovereign nation, capable of making its own decisions and pursuing its own development agenda. This means recognizing that we are not simply a recipient of aid or an object to be influenced, but an equal partner in the global community. Our pursuit of development must be driven by our own priorities and our own vision for the future. We do not need foreign powers to tell us how to build our economy, how to educate our people, or how to govern ourselves. We are capable of making those decisions, and we will do so in accordance with our own values and aspirations. Of course, we remain open to collaboration with other nations and institutions, but any assistance or partnership must respect our sovereignty and our right to make decisions on our own terms. In conclusion, Burkina Faso's demand for respect is not about rejecting the world or its opportunities, but about asserting our right to live in peace and to pursue development without external interference. We are a proud nation, and we will continue to engage with the global community, but we will do so on our own terms. We are not seeking conflict, but we are steadfast in our determination to protect our sovereignty, our dignity, and our right to shape our own future. Respect for these principles is the foundation of any meaningful partnership, and it is the cornerstone upon which Burkina Faso will continue to build its future. Burkina Faso is a country that has long been dedicated to the principles of equality, fairness, and justice. These values are not only fundamental to our identity, but also to our vision for the world. Despite our relatively small size and the challenges that come with being a developing nation, we firmly believe that all countries, regardless of their power, wealth, or influence, deserve to be treated with equal dignity and respect. The global community must recognize that every nation, regardless of its status on the world stage, has a unique perspective, valuable contributions, and the right to have its voice heard. Burkina Faso is no exception to this rule. For too long, countries like ours, especially in Africa, have been overlooked, marginalized, or treated as peripheral in global discussions. Larger and more powerful nations often dominate international dialogues, setting the agenda and making decisions that affect everyone, regardless of whether those decisions serve the interests of smaller or less powerful countries. This imbalance has led to a global system where the needs and concerns of smaller nations are often ignored or sidelined. This is something that Burkina Faso strongly opposes. We are not content to remain in the shadows of others. Our country has a rich history, a vibrant culture, and a people full of potential. Our contributions and our voice are just as valuable as those of any other nation, no matter how big or influential. The idea that some nations deserve to be heard more than others simply because of their size or power is an outdated and unjust concept. Every nation, regardless of its economic or military strength, has its own unique challenges, aspirations, and needs. The perspectives of smaller nations like Burkina Faso are just as important in shaping the future of the world as those of the more powerful countries. We believe in the principle of equality among nations, and we stand firm in our commitment to ensuring that Burkina Faso's voice is not only heard, but taken seriously in global discussions. In recent years, the global community has increasingly recognized the need for greater inclusivity in decision-making processes, particularly with regard to issues such as climate change, human rights, and economic development. Burkina Faso has always believed in the importance of being a part of these discussions, contributing our own experiences and perspectives, and advocating for policies that reflect the needs of the broader international community. Our position as a landlocked, developing country gives us a unique understanding of issues such as poverty, food security, and access to education. We bring these perspectives to the table with the intention of making the global community more aware of the realities faced by nations like ours and pushing for solutions that take those realities into account.